During the confirmation hearing for Rex Tillerson, there was a break, and during that break, apparently there was video footage of someone who was at that hearing who took a photo of his notes, which were out in the open, okay? So that angered a lot of Trump supporters because they felt like there was a reporter who was trying to do something dirty, right? And so as a result, some trolls on the internet tried to figure out who that woman was, and then they sent random people that were completely unverified to even be that person really hideous things on social media. So a woman and a group of men hang around Tillerson's seat during a break in his confirmation hearing. The woman notices that Tillerson left his notes, walks over, and positions her phone in a way to suggest she was taking a photo. So again, that was caught on tape. Someone clipped that out, put it up online, and it went viral. So all the Trump trolls lost it. Someone somewhere decided the woman was actually Washington Post homepage editor Doris Trong. Don't want to mispronounce her name. Doris Trong. That led to a post on Jim Hoft's Gateway Pundit declaring, "Sick! Washington Post reporter caught sneaking photos of Rex Tillerson's notes at Senate hearing, which was then picked up by Drudge Report." Okay. So let me just say a few things. First of all, there's no indication that this person was even a reporter. And even if it was a reporter, nothing unethical happened because Rex Tillerson, if he had anything sensitive on those notes, just left them out in the open. A reporter is supposed to do what a reporter is supposed to do, which is report on what's happening. And if there's anything out in the open and there's no reasonable expectation of privacy because it's in a public space, then he or she can report on it.
Do you think that a right-winger would pause for a second before taking pictures of Nancy Pelosi's notes that she left in public?
Oh my God.
Okay, but anyway, that's not the best part of the story. I don't really care about the pictures at all.
Yeah.
The best part of the story is, of course, it wasn't Doris Trong.
It wasn't Doris Trong. So they start flooding her Twitter with hideous tweets. So just to give you a few of them, one person writes, "Just deport this cunt already. Seriously, why be nice about this kind of devious shit?"
Okay, yeah. And because he was on the edge of being nice about it and changed his mind at the end. Yeah. And so notice, by the way, the not so subtle racism of deport her.
Yeah, you don't know if she's a citizen or if she's an immigrant. You don't know anything about her.
You don't know anything about her.
Yeah.
You don't even know who she is because you got the wrong person. But he's thinking Asian, not really an American. Let's deport her.
Another person writes, "It's an evil Nazi cunt," whatever. So later on, Washington Post.
And by the way, a lot of people writing, "Fire the bitch now," right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to fire her. You got to fire her. They can't tell one Asian apart from another. And then they're on the warpath like they're the righteous. Okay, but we're not even done. Okay. There's a second layer to this story.
So after it was reported that Washington Post editor was not that individual that they thought they should be going after, inside climate reporter Lisa Song. So that's actually what her title is. That's not the publication that reported it was her. Just want to be clear about that. Anyway, it wasn't her either, but still, she got a bunch of terrible tweets, and I don't know, man. These are just trolls on the internet, and they've now mobilized and they've gotten together and they're like, there's a political thing that we can use to keep trolling, right? Here's a way that we can gather together with one common thing and I guess direct our efforts toward one thing at a time based on our political views, which, by the way, I don't even know if they're the political views that they have. They don't ever use their real names. It's always ridiculous photoshopped images for their avatars. They might be 12, 13-year-old boys. Yeah. We don't know who they are, and they're just clowns. They go out of their way to harass, especially women who work in news, on the internet. That's what they do.
And then they cry like little babies if you call them racist. But then there's tweets like, "Oh, great leader Kim Jong-un would be so proud of you." No, that's not racist. And then there's a tweet that very cleverly said, "fucking chink." And then if you call them racist, they're like, "What? How dare you call me racist? You're not respecting me. That's why you lost the election," right? No, I call you racist because you're racist. And Lisa Song said, "Hey, Twitter trolls, not all Asians look alike. I was in Boston and nowhere near D.C. yesterday." They still don't know who it is. They're still randomly grabbing Asian female reporters are like, it's her, kick her out. I hate Asians, I hate them. And by the way, it's funny, right? Because once you're a racist, you can't stop. Like
I know, but like, okay, so they very well may be racist, but like, what's the anatomy of an internet troll? It's to say outrageous things to get a rise out of people, to get a reaction, right? Like, we don't know anything about these people. Again, they might not believe anything that they're saying.
I don't care. You call someone a fucking chink, you're a racist. So,
I know.
Like, if you're, I was kidding about what a scumbag racist I am, but there was no way for you to determine that. And it's not like I called it to an Asian person. I called them a chink. How dare you accuse me of racism?
That's
okay.
No. But what I'm trying to tell you, Cenk, is I'm not trying to make excuses for them or try to make an argument that they're not racist. I'm just trying to say that they are getting exactly what they want right now.
Yeah.
Even though this proves that they're morons, but we all already knew that they're morons.
Hey, no. If you guys want to get famous, and I know that's part of why you're doing this, get a rise out of people, get famous, because I'm a loser and I can't get famous by doing something right. I'm not a good athlete. I'm not smart. I can't, accomplish anything in my life, so I like to get famous on Twitter. Great. Tell us who your name is. Give us your picture, right? We'll make you famous. So then when your employer fires you for being an over-the-top racist scumbag, don't come crying. Well, do you want the fame or don't you want the fame? Then they'll cry to the end of the earth. Oh, they outed me. Oh, my God. And they won't let me be racist anymore. But I despise Asians. Why can't I call them chicks? Oh, that's how all these bitches run, okay? And then when I call them that, they're like, oh, he called me a bitch. My feelings are hurt. I need a safe space.
Are these snowflakes?
It sounds like they're very, very special snowflakes. Okay, guys, try to figure out who different Asians are because they're different individuals. I know that comes as a shock to you. But just to finish the thought from before, like once you start calling black people the N-word and they're lazy, they're violent, whatever, right? You think they're gonna stop there? They're not gonna stop there. That's why the guys running the deplorable got into a fight over Jews, right? Because they're never gonna stop, right? So then are they gonna hate Asians? Of course they hate Asians. Look at what their leader, their dear leader, Steve Bannon, on tape in an interview where he's interviewing Donald Trump says there's too many Asian CEOs in the Valley. And even Trump's like, but so what? And he's like, no, but they're not our culture, right? And so, yeah, of course they hate Asians because they're racist. So do they hate Muslims? Yes. Do they hate Jews? What? That's the one line they're going to draw? Right. Oh, no, I hate Muslims, Asians, blacks, Latinos. I hate everybody. That's why they're having a fight over whether it's okay to be anti-Semitic or not. Because some of them are like, wait, we're gonna do that too? And others are like, of course we are. We're racist scumbags. What do you think we're gonna do? So that's where we are right now. And their guy, Steve Bannon, chief strategist at the White House. Wow. Mm-hmm. I wonder if he can tell different Asians apart because Elaine Chao is going to be the Secretary of Transportation. So I hope he doesn't accidentally fire her for taking Rex Tillerson's notes. Become a TYT member and you get all the shows on the network, including Aggressive Progressive, the most progressive show there is anywhere. Check it out, tytnetwork.com/join.